As a former paramedic, I have seen a lot of mental illness in my time. I would argue that 90% of my call volume was involving mentally unwell people. And that's why I feel like what I'm about to say is going to come to fruition. The woman in the black shorts is Kaitlyn Tracey, a Canadian, somebody from my neck of the woods. Go Canada. Who has been living illegally in the United States for a period of 2 years prior to this incident. Two years past her visa, she has been residing illegally in the United States. She's recently made headlines because she was detained by ICE, and the term ICE is radioactive these days, for allegedly assaulting somebody for wearing Trump supportive gear. Now I'm going to show you the video. She just walks up and slaps her. Just boom, boom, slaps her. Apparently it's a teenager that she's slapping. Now I can't confirm all the details, but I can confirm that she did walk up and slap her. She was not in threat of being engaged. She was the aggressor here. She closed the distance and put her hands on another person. That is not defense. There is nothing defensible about that. Also, she's married to somebody in Canada, and she's hanging out with this tattooed guy here. So maybe they're in an open relationship. I don't know. Who can say? Listen, this is crazy to me that we live in an age right now where somebody can do this. They can walk up and slap a person because they don't like their politics, because they can't handle opposing views. They can't handle that somebody might dare like Trump. If somebody likes Trump, man, I hated Justin Trudeau as my prime minister. Hated it with a passion. Couldn't stand it. I have a lot of friends who supported Justin Trudeau as prime minister, who voted for him specifically to be prime minister. I never walked up. I never walked up wearing tiny little shorts and like faux punk biker queer attire. I don't know what you would call her style, but I've never donned a pair of Daisy Dukes, walked up to my friends and slapped them in the face because they were wearing a, yay Trudeau shirt or, love liberals, whatever. I've never done it. You can't just walk up and hit people because you disagree with their politics, just the same as you can't assassinate people because you disagree with their politics. I am convinced with all the evidence that we see. Look at the media. The media is really left-leaning. It has a huge left-leaning bias. All the headlines really are about left violence. They don't call it leftist violence, but it is leftist violence when you read the story. In Nova Scotia, there was a group who attacked a member of parliament here. Let me look it up here. So here it is. Tim Houston. He is in the white car, and he was touring Parliament in Nova Scotia. Now, Nova Scotia is radically left. There's not much I can really say about Nova Scotia that isn't going to get me in trouble from other Nova Scotians. I love Nova Scotians. I love the province of Nova Scotia. I hate your politics. Absolutely hate it. And this is a shimmering example of why I hate your politics. These people are so unhinged, and they're always the same demographic of people, by the way. Liberal white women and cuck men coming out. And look at this lady banging on drums wearing LGBTQ pants. So they actually broke the windshield of his car. The RCMP had to come and whisk him back inside to shield him from these people. Now, they call this a protest. Do you remember when they arrested the truckers in Ottawa? It wasn't because the truckers were doing this to Parliament. Truckers weren't doing this. They didn't do any of this. And they called the Emergency Services Act, or the Emergency Powers Act, where they could have way more leeway with using law enforcement. Look, there's the big smash on the windshield. All these people out freely walking around, still banging on the drums, still standing in front, still refusing egress of the vehicle. That's not a protest. That's civil disobedience. That's also vandalism. Cops are just kind of standing. doing the protection thing, which is fine, but they're not getting arrested. These people aren't arrested. Not any arrests were made, as best as I could tell in the story. This liberalism is 100% going to be classed as a mental illness years down the road. When we look back retrospectively at these people, you are going to see diagnoses of mental unwellness within these people, because that's all it is. If something compels you to the point where you have to smash a senator's car because he's simply trying to leave the area, because you so vehemently oppose him that you cause vandalism, and you walk up to teenagers who are wearing Trump gear and you assault them, and you assassinate people because they disagree with trans ideology, and you assassinate them by shooting them in the neck, that is all mental unwellness. There is no justifiable case to assassinate somebody, to wreck somebody's car, or to slap somebody because of politics. And if you think there is, you're probably the problem. Like, you're one bad decision away from wearing black Daisy Dukes and walking out and attacking somebody. One bad decision away from this. This could be you. Hopefully it's not, because you get some mental help. Listen, you don't have to agree with the politics. I don't agree with all the politics on conservative sides. I don't agree with much of the politics on the liberal side, because if you look at Canada as a whole, we are in a recession. Our healthcare is failing. Our justice and infrastructures are failing. We have criminals running rampant and getting tremendous leniency, and we have race-based laws and race-based sentencing. These are all liberal ideals, and in my opinion, steeped in mental unwellness. And we have this on display over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. You don't have the inverse. Every time you, like, if I were to bring this up to somebody, I guarantee you one of the first things they, January 6th. January 6th. One gathering, a bunch of meatheads that got out of hand. Absolutely. But it was not as cut and dry as just being right-leaning people. That's been proven over and over and over. The violence toward political opponents is vastly disproportionate from the left to the right than it is from the right to the left. There's that image that people post around where there's a bunch of racists on a city transit bus, and a young black female posed perfectly on a chair. She didn't lose her life. She didn't get stabbed. She didn't get beaten. She didn't get mocked. She didn't get talked down to. But Irina Zarutska, who was on a public transit, got stabbed and killed just because she was sitting on a bus in white. But yet we're not supposed to believe that anti-white racism and that anti-white sentiment exists. It's stuff like this that doesn't get addressed by the left. They should be calling this out as much as we are. This is the kind of stuff that makes me lean so much farther and closer to conservatism than anything liberal. I have a lot of liberal ideals, a lot of progressive values. I'm very much a pro-choice guy, which is not very conducive with a lot of conservative views. Although a lot of people try to say that Pierre Poilievre is anti-abortion. That's simply not true. He actually has championed pro-choice policies in the past. So this is a shimmering example of why I truly believe that in years to come, when we look back at life and we look back at the political landscape, we're going to see so many instances of this. And it will finally come to be that it is diagnosable, certifiable mental illness.